what they're going to be like for 80 minutes.
Barry, how impressed were you with St Helens last week? I mean, everyone's favourites, and they opened up with some justification.
There was some hard work done by some of the fringe players you see in your screen. Zeb Taylor, Dominic Peru just before him. Dominic Peru, particularly in his second stint last week, really laid the platform, and Saints are a side that are going to threaten you all over the pitch.
Phil Bentham, the man in the middle. Even Julien, John Wilkin. His successor as captain James Roby for 2018 produced a great display last week. The former skipper John Wilkin.
He was good last weekend as well. Luke Thompson got through a lot of hard work. He's difficult to stop, plays that ball nice and quick, and then off the back of that, Thompson. And if you think who's to follow, Big Alex and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, they look a well-balanced side this year, Saints.
New skipper to old skipper there, Roby for Wilkin. This Zeb Taylor now. 3 seasons in Perpignan. He's got to try on his debut for the Dragons at Craven Park.
You know what I like about Luke Thompson, but he works really hard, very fit, very powerful, always willing to work hard. And Saints, as always, at the line with numbers.
Great work from Lomax, and Barber in space for the first time. Barber's cutting them open. Lomax on his inside. St Helens going to go in within 1 minute here in Perpignan. St Helens hit the front. It was a fast start last week, and they do exactly the same in Perpignan. And 4-0, the Saints ahead. Johnny Lomax.
Well, Johnny Lomax, what an outstanding player he is. Covers every position in the back line, even played at hooker. And when they have those numbers going at the line, you can just see the disruption, no communication in the Catalans' defensive line. And Johnny Lomax, who had touched the ball early on in the piece, he's the man who backs up the middle, knows exactly what's going to happen. And this is great work and a great opening for the Saints.
There's a few ways that Johnny Lomax threatens your defensive line. He's quick, so when he stands 2 passes away from the ruck, all the defenders are sliding frantically, trying to get bodies in front of him. But what he decided to do is the other thing that threatens your line. He's passed that ball early. We've already talked about Ben Barber and what an impact he's having in 2018. He gives him an early ball, and it's good night, Vienna.
500 points now for St Helens for Johnny Lomax, I should say, as Danny Richardson lines this kick up. 7 from 8 last week against Castleford. The 21-year-old, the first attempt here in Perpignan.
Lovely soft hands, an early ball with plenty of space for Ben Barber. And he's just grasping at shadows there, Lucas Albert. I think he's going to have a busy afternoon. They'll have just mentally logged that in the memory banks. Lucas Albert, fantastic player with ball in hand. Hits hard when players run at him. When he's got decisions to make, he's tested. And there's a mistake from Saints from the kickoff.
Dominic Peru puts the ball down, and immediately Steve McNamara's might have a chance to hit back here.
Right, but I want to see what the reaction is from this Catalan side. They've just conceded a try in the opening minute of the game. They come into the game on the back of a big loss in round 1 against Widnes. I want to see what they can do here. If Catalan concede another try within the next 10 minutes, I think that Saints will absolutely put the cleaners through them.
First chance to show what they can do in attack, and Benjamin Julien with the first carry. Try scoring debut in the defeat at Widnes last Sunday. Mikel Simon, just 5 metres away from the line. The new man, McAloren, gets the ball away quickly. It's a short ball, they could be over here. Benjamin Garcia just repelled at the last by James Roby among the tacklers for St Helens. Still going with McAloren. He will need no motivation to beat the Saints. That was Lucas Albert. Further wide is David Mead, the danger man, gets a great ball away, and Fielding ricocheted.
Excellent read by the young winger. Regan Grace comes in and shuts that play. I felt certain that was a try over on Catalan's right edge.
Kick comes in, testing Tierney. Still the last, says the official Phil Bentham. And then Tierney turns defence into attack brilliantly there, just turns his side around in attack, and it's good play from Ben Barber in defence this time. We marvelled at his attacking skills last week, in the right place at the right time, and all the composure to tidy up that situation.
Well, you can see that Catalan get really excited down there, their opponent's line. This is where they need to make sure that they get excited, this part of the game as well. Get off the line, hit hard, work really well, and I agree with Barry. Regan Grace come up with an absolute bell ringer on Ian Thornley. They knew that they were caught out for numbers, but closed that play down.
Roby. Play from Douglas. Missed the home defeat of Castleford last week. So his first involvement of 2018, and Richardson gets the kick away. Mead in a good position though. And the Papua New Guinea man takes the ball forward for the Catalan Dragons.
And Justin Holbrook going with young Danny Richardson again, who was very good last week when he made his debut in round 1 last year against the Leeds Rhinos. He's got the confidence in the young halfback to go out there and boss some of the senior players around the pitch.
Dragons already over halfway in the shape of Ian Thornley, the former Wigan man. Enjoy playing the St Helens this afternoon. Calora moves in. Casting. 20 metres away on the last, the Catalan Dragons. Good ball from Baitieri. And Albert slips the net. Lucas Albert almost over. Gets the ball away off the deck, but it only finds Luke Douglas. And St Helens breathe again.
It's very hurried and very desperate already. Such an early part of the game to not get to the end of your kick. Sometimes you've got to put 2 or 3 sets of 6 in before you decide that the magic play, the miracle play, running on the last is on. It looks like the Dragons aren't prepared to go through that process, and they're going to try and score on every chance.
Good hit from Jason Batteri on Adam Swift. Again, this is a part of the field where Catalan really do try and get off the line and get the numbers in, but my word, if you run straight at a Catalan player, he's going to belt you.
Kick eventually fielded by Mead, who has to turn around towards his own posts to collect that one. Into a waiting 5 strong St Helens defence, led by Thompson. Here's Tierney.
Always a big, powerful side bringing the ball away. And with this man, Jody Broughton, he's got some pace as well. Mickey McLaurin having a little look at the Saints line, which side's he going to go from centre field. Constantly counting numbers, looking for that overlap.
Great flick from Mikael Simon. Albert on the back of that crowd don't like the challenge. As the Dragons move into that St Helens half of the field again. Baitieri. Play the ball on the last. Launched high by Albert.
Well, more height than direction in that kick, and Saints end up picking the ball. Is it the 40-metre line that? They're almost into the Catalan Dragons half.
There's a swirling wind though in Catalan. The pitch is firm, the sun's been out all day, even though it's not been really hot. But there is a wicked wind going around, so you'd know that the likes of David Mead and Ben Barber are going to be tested out.
Douglas with that carry for St Helens. Here is Richardson, shut down brilliantly there by Greg Byrne. Roby's pass. Now Douglas again. Three in the tackles, Simon in there, Casti in there.
Well, they seem like they're well and truly into the grind here now, Catalan.
Delicate kick from Lomax. We'll find touch on that far side. Scrum coming up for the Catalan Dragons.
You say that, but I think Saints are the team that are prepared to grind their waist. You still sense that Catalan, if they can get that offload away, we've only got just over 8 minutes on the clock. They're already looking to offload and promote that ball. Whatever Saints have done, they've done with safety in mind, trying to build their way into this game. There's no doubt in my mind that Saints' game plan is, let's be patient, and Catalan look like they're desperate not to lose.
But to come out and concede a try in the opening minute, I think that's just down to attitude, that, because there's no fatigue in you. You just need to make sure that you concentrate, you play the plays, you defend what's in front of you. And that's a real poor start from a team that's conceded 40 points last week.
Without both halfbacks from last week, also without the services of Sam Mower, suspended for this one following that challenge on Joe Muller. Scampering run from McAlorum, though, typical.
He'll give you some direction. Very
Gets
tough.
to within a couple of metres of that halfway line, and Casti on the back of that. Last one. Coming up. Albert. Again, the aerial route, testing Barber. Pulled out at the last minute. That's going to be another set coming up for Catalan Dragons, so Barber presumably just should touch that ball, and this is a great position now for Steve McNamara's men. Garcia cuts inside. Just a couple of metres away, and McAlorum trying his luck.
Thought he spotted a gap then on the short side.
Williame's pass. Short ball. To come up for St Helens though, and tires the man who's collected possession against his old club, and Percival now for St Helens.
And that's my case in point. It's not a bad place to hand the ball over, but you've only just got 10 minutes on the clock, and you're not going to lose the game at 6-0 with a whole 70 minutes to go.
Keep going.
They just need to settle themselves into the game, the Dragons here.
Back on one.
Taylor grounded, but got the pass away.
Two.
Douglas now.
Hold. Goal two.
Roby for Thompson. Into the waiting arms of Mikel Simon.
Goal three.
22 times a French international. Made his Wakefield debut in a 2015 loss to St Helens.
Well taken from Mark Percival then. The cut-out ball, it was a first pass across Zeb Taylor over on that left-hand side.
Lomax sees some space on that St Helens left-hand side.
Oh, they fancy that play, don't they? Johnny Lomax, so influential for Saints.
Back for the scrum caps there with Benjamin Julien. The kick fielded by Tierney. It's the chase line, led by Makinson, Wilkin in there, Peyru in there.
Well, you could just see then John Wilkin, what he was doing. He got underneath Lewis Tierney, he caught him, held him up, he was waiting for his teammates to come in before taking him to ground, which then helps your defensive line get set. Buy a bit of time for your teammates.
And now space on that Catalan left-hand side. And Tierney cuts back in field, taken down by Peyru. Simon. McAlorum. That was Albert. Drops the ball off to Casti. Douglas downstairs, two over the top. Thompson among them. And the last Albert just flicks the ball towards Regan Grace. Traps it first. With composure there shown from Grace, the 21-year-old Welsh international.
That's better, that's a deliberate kick. That's a challenge to St Helens to work away from the line. They need a good defensive set, restrict meters that are made by the Saints, and obviously no penalties given away.
Regained some of that composure since that early setback inside 60 seconds of the try for Johnny Lomax. Here is Thompson for the Saints.
Get square. Hold.
Roby. Inside for Wilkin, tip on, back on the inside. Barber. Good defence from Simon though, had to be. Lomax with the kick.
Looking for distance, the ball just beats Lewis Tierney. Although he regains it on the second effort.
Back up, Saints.
And they've just stripped the game back here now, Catalan. Simplified the game. The outside backs are getting in on the early tackles, leading the way, helping the forwards. And both sides like it playing the short side, but just running out of space and numbers. Saints defence is there to wrap up Julien.
Good tackle from Percival on Julien, 22-year-old. Good offload from Baitieri, finds Mead in some space, and Mead tries to accelerate through Wilkin. Can't get through Teo though.
It's a good side to watch when they play off the cuff, Catalan, but they've got to make sure that they are disciplined with the ball though.
Simon. Wrapped up by 3.
Move! Hold, Saints!
McAlorum for Albert. Crossfield kick. And Swift does really well underneath that.
He's a good player, isn't he, Adam Swift? He gets his chance because the injury to Morgan, with this man going into the centre. And you've got to make sure that you deal with everything from the opposition. You know that you're going to be pressured on the final players of the set. You're going to make sure you put yourself where the action is, and that's under that high ball.
Whenever I see Tommy Makinson running from right to left and he's skipping around players, I think back to last year at Magic Weekend when he scored that wonderful try against Hull FC. I don't think he'd be getting that much joy this afternoon.
Here he is, Makinson. Back with some expansive play from St Helens. Roby. Now Richardson. Relieves some pressure with the step, and then a good kick. Turns Broughton around. It's going to be too strong though.
It is too strong, Ben, but that's what I like about Danny Richardson. He's good at laying up the landscape, good at assessing the situation. He's only going to get better at that as he develops and gets more games under his belt, but a very confident young man. They balance each other well, Richardson and Lomax. A runner and a thinker.
No room for Matty Smith out there. McAlorum. Simon into the tackle. I think it was Peru came in. And now Casti. For Wigan, Hooker gets it again and finds Battieri this time.
Steps out to the left, hoping to pull those defenders across with him, creating a gap back on the inside.
Oh, what a pass that was from Albert, and David Mead just about ankle tapped. That was so important, but they're still going here, Catalan Dragons, inside that red zone, 9 metres or so away. Here is Albert, shows it to one, almost finds the line. Richardson is there. Douglas is there. Dinked in by McAlorum. Goal line dropout coming up.
Wonderful stuff there from the Catalan Dragons. That's better. Players pushing through, making themselves available at the right time. And here we go. Michael McAlorum just delicately dabs it into the in goal, and the scrambling Saints defenders have enough to get it off the back line.
And good recognition as well from McAlorum, knowing that his half-back Lucas Albert was playing the ball, so he was out of the play. He couldn't kick the ball. Then it's a case of looking for Greg Bird. He takes it on himself to kick the ball forward. There's pressure there on James Roby, who just knocks that ball dead.
Richardson's dropout finds Tierney on halfway. Here is Simon. Now by Thierry.
Nice easy play from Catalan.
McAlorum now throws a dummy.
Oh, he's selling some dummies with his head movement. Shaping to go right, comes back left.
Roby was allowed to that situation though, and here is Julien with some space. Julien with some strength. The tackle from Percival. And Simon. Catalan Dragons camped on that St Helens line. The kick is deft. Just too long.
Another good kick from the Dragons. He's got that in his armoury. Lucas Albert, passing, kicking. And it was his teammates' ability to read that. They maintain that, if they keep patience with that, keep applying pressure, no matter how good that any side is in the world of rugby league, at some point, if you have to defend, you'll make a poor decision, fatigue will set in, you'll make a poor decision, you'll look for a corner cut, it could result in points.
Danny Richardson with another dropout. Willie Army. Inside the 30 already. McCarthy Scarsbrook off the bench for St Helens. Here is Casti now. To the tackle of Taya.
They're trying to get the ball to the centre of the field so they can open it up left or right.
Albert trying to do that. Garcia. Was he taken high? He's managed to get a brilliant pass away. And is that a try?
It's come back for the forward pass.
Oh, what a shame for the Dragons.
Well, this is a good ball here. You can see when he goes through, He keeps his feet, he's playing for the penalty. He should just get on with the game. Offloads the ball, and Lucas Albert.
Do you know, I think you're right. If he doesn't throw his head back there, he gets that ball away in time. Da Costa does the right thing. Sorry, not Da Costa. Lucas Albert does the right thing. Some angry dragons at the minute.
Well, Garcia then, because he threw his head back and he's looking at the referee, thinking, come on, is that a penalty? He loses sight of where his teammate is, Lucas Albert. If he focuses on, like, offloading the ball like he can, because he's a powerful player, Garcia. He scored a try there.
Adam Smith for St Helens, hat-trick last week in a warm-up win over North Wales Crusaders. Change of tempo, change of environment for him. Here is Percival.
He's the go-to man, isn't he? As we said earlier on, he scored a hat-trick last week, and then you got this man outside of him.
And look at the guy they're running at, Lucas Albert. Saints recognise how dangerous he is with the ball in hand, so give him some extra work to do defensively. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook into the fray now.
His first involvement, the former London man. Saints look to ramp things up in attack here. Makinson.
Good tackle from Braden Williami on Makinson.
Barber inside for Richardson.
Nice kick, nice set into the corner. Been under pressure and a couple of repeat sets to deal with from Catalan, who were seeming to roll in sets down the other end of the field. And Steve McNamara, who's got Luke Walsh and Sam Howard in the box with him, knows that they didn't start well, but they certainly have got themselves together. And there's a game on here.
It's a good period for the Catalan Dragons. They examined the character, the defensive structure of Saints. Saints now have the ball. What's the character of the Dragons like? Deal with the disappointment, get on with the job.
Into the second quarter of this match, Julien in possession for the Catalan Dragons.
You can see Michael McLaurin there pointing up in front of him who he wants to run at. It's James Roby, the man. Normally, in games of rugby league, James Roby will be totting up around 40, 50 tackles a game. And just have a little look at the hooker for Catalan, the number 19 jersey. He'll be looking at where Mickey Mack's defending.
McLaurin gets the kick away. Barber in the right place. Launches the counter now for St Helens. Irresistible last week. Former Bellingham Player of the Year.
And a big tip to get the big award over here, the Man of Steel. Ben Barber, he is a magician. I've seen him make some mistakes as well in a Saints jersey, but he can play, the lad.
2 tries, a hat-trick of assists. Here's McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Dangerous tackle.
Yeah, it's Benjamin Garcia, the number 12, who gets underneath Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Another player who was excellent in the World Cup. You can just see, lifts him above the horizontal, and then again turns round as though there's a problem.
Just have quite a few players that are quite short, 5'10", 5'11". Garcia, Thierry, Julien, probably chuck Greg Bird in there as well. They get underneath the ball and penalty ensues.
McCarthy-Scarsbrook central for St Helens. Just that try from Lomax remains the difference. St Helens trying to double their tally now, and Morgan Knowles takes it up. Best campaign last year, played in 30 of the 32 League and Cup for St Helens. Lomax.
Good defence from Catalan. Lomax didn't know whether to go left, tried to come back right, but it was cut off. That part of the field from him.
Thompson. Left-hand side, and Richardson. That man Barber gets a great ball away, and Regan Grace in the corner. Great ball from Ben Barber, and Regan Grace tiptoes in on that far side. And it's 2 tries now for St Helens.
This is just sublime from St Helens. All players away from the line. Danny Richardson gives an early ball to Ben Barber, who threads the needle, puts it across the face of the centre, into the winger's hand, and Jody Broughton has to account for the centre. He can't afford to give any space to Regan Grace and the centre too difficult to deal with. The wrong decision was made. Impossible, really, for Broughton to make that tackle in the end. Just wonderful play from Saints.
Ben Barber keeps astonishing us. Did so well. Great start to the season last week. And more evidence of his quality with ball in hand sends Regan Grace over.
Over on that right side again, you feel certain that Saints have identified in the week. They think they can get at Albert and the other right edge players for Catalan and make their afternoon a difficult one. They've had 2 tries and a couple of pieces of joy so far.
Two-year deal last May for Regan Grace, runner-up to Oliver Gildart for the Young Player of the Year. Richardson with a tough assignment here to try and improve that try from Regan Grace. From the sideline. Oh, that's a fantastic kick. A brilliant effort there from Danny Richardson. 2 from 2 for him. St Helens 12-0 up.
It's a tough play, this, for Jody Broughton to deal with. You can see that Ian Thornley's looking inside of him. You've got 2 fabulous players in the likes of Ben Barber and Mark Percival. The only player to get in the dream team last year in the Saints jersey was Mark Percival. So you've got to deal with those players. Then outside of them, you've got Regan Grace. He's got pace to burn. Who'd you go for? Very difficult. They were caught short on numbers, and Regan Grace scores the try.
So Helens get it back, and Adam Swift. Good tackle. Coming in from Greg Bird, yep. Puts that shot on. Now Peru. Bite to this Catalan defence now.
And if you run at the Catalan forwards, they're going to belt you. They are a tough, aggressive side. Sometimes, we've watched them over the years, it boils over. When they play nice and composed, and they're good with the ball, they can score against any team in the competition.
And I think that's what's working for Saints. They're keeping it tight, they're making those big players work, gaining some field position.
Look at that line. The kicking game's been good, hasn't it? Kicking for distance. The chase is following that up. They're dealing with their opponents. They're getting up quick on the speedsters, making the ruck slower. That's the focal point of the game. The speed in which your opposition player can get up, play the ball, lay something on for the likes of DeCosta, McLaurin or James Roby.
The crowd baying for an offside, a relieving penalty, anything as Greg Bird plays the ball. Albert. Bousquet can't get the offload away. McCarthy Scarsbrook in there. Thompson in there. This is DeCosta.
Last tackle.
Brain explosion.
It's last tackle, and because that ruck was so messy, there was a player that was a late retreater, so there were 3 players involved, and DeCosta couldn't resist jumping out to see if he could gain more metres. Probably lost the tackle count in that haze, in that moment.
And because of that play, because he's not kicked the ball, they're about 30 metres, 40 metres out of pocket, really.
And already under pressure in their own half. Only a few seconds since DeCosta came on for McAlorum. He's probably lost some of that organisation with the former Wigan hooker's departure as well. Meanwhile, St Helens, Wormsley can't take the ball in. Julien has it back for the Dragons.
Well, Morgan Knowles at the line, trying to set big Alex Wormsley through. Signed a 4-year deal last week. Wasn't that a good signature? And a lot of fans in Super League really happy that Alex Wormsley staying in the competition instead of going down to the NRL.
DeCosta. It's by Thierry, and Albert finds support. It's David Mead.
Nice carry from Margaret. Straight into Morgan Knowles, who stood his ground.
Bousquet now. Was always going to offload, did so forward in the end, and so that attack comes to nothing, and St Helens possibly with something on that left-hand side, and Lomax.
Well, James Roby was all over Julien Bousquet. The durable prop forward, only missed 2 games in the last 2 years. plays the game tough. As well, Julian Bousquet, the number 14 in a Dragons shirt.
Swift. Pursued initially by Bird. Down by Garcia. Wormsley.
Wormsley assessed that really well. He got his arm away, there was a player available. Probably had in the back of his mind the tackle count, the time, the clock of the game, although Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook just made me a liar. The ball's on the floor, it's scruffy, but Saints get 10 or 12 metres off the back of it.
Knock on here by Ian Thornley. Mark Percival fighting to get that offload away. Ian Thornley trying to wrap him up. And you can just see when they go into the tackle, look, fights for it, gets his arm away, and then all of a sudden the right hand of Ian Thornley knocks that ball forward. Catalan fans don't like it, but it's there for all to see on the screen.
It looks very similar to the untrained eye. It looks similar. It looks like both teams are playing the same game, but I feel that Saints, and the scoreboard suggests it as well, are making better decisions when they're offloading the ball. They're offloading and taking those risks in smarter parts of the pitch, and that's why they took advantage already twice in terms of scores.
Penalty, St Helens.
Less of the interested Danny Richardson just turning around. Do we just keep the pressure on? Do we keep rolling forward, or do we go for 2 points? No, they're going to keep going here.
In the shape first up of Alex Wormsley.
And that's an indication about how strong the wind in is as well. Didn't decide to go for touch, just keep it going forward in the middle.
Half an hour gone in Perpignan. Just the 2 tries so far posted by St Helens, but they're hungry for more here. McCarthy-Scarsbrook. With the tackle of Julien. Roby trying to go himself there. Work from Mead and Julien again. Richardson waits for Barber. That ball doesn't connect with Percival. Catalan Dragons survive.
It wasn't his ball, that's why. There was enough pace on it to suggest that Ben Barber was trying to do the same thing. Regan Grace was in space. Jody Broughton had made the decision to come in. And if he'd have just showed a little bit of patience, Mark Percival, and pulled his hand away, Regan Grace could have been in for his second.
Caught in 2 minds, aren't you, in that situation, 10 metres from the line. Do you make a play for the ball and just try and tip it on to your winger, or do you let it go across the face if you're hoping that your winger's in the perfect spot?
Brought up for the Costa. Solid hit there from Teya. Now Tierney, the face of Makins. Anthony Maria. Da Costa.
And a bit of John Wilkin there from Marker for the high shot. He got set at Marker. He got out. Knew that Da Costa was going to run because Alex Wormsley wasn't set back in the second marker position. Anytime that hookers will see that there's only one man marking and there's a man who's offside, they'll go from dummy half. It was a lunging effort from John Wilkin, who hits Da Costa high. And here we are now, 15 metres from Saints line. Can Catalan post some points just before half-time?
Field test opportunity for the Dragons, untidy play the ball, penalty Catalan.
Well, Greg Bird asking the referee, is that a professional foul? Should he be going to the sin bin? You can see just fighting to play the ball. Alex Wormsley stood trying to play the ball in offside position.
Bousquet, a really strong carry to within a couple of inches of that St Helens line. David Mead all wrapped up though, good tackle, shot out to the line, Johnny Lomax. Shut that play down. Margolay now. Costa with the run around.
There's nobody taking control here now for Catalan.
Need the organisation, but Busquets trying to go himself. Wilkin up to the task. Last one coming up, last chance for the Dragons.
That's a poor set. Yeah. That's a really poor set.
Mentally, he looked tired there. There was nobody, as you said, willing to take control. On the other side of the ball, St Helens looked full of energy. Rugby league is just an energy battle. When it's your time to defend, how much juice do you have to take out your tank? When it's your time to attack, how much you put into that aspect of the game as well. And Catalan had no energy, nobody willing to take control, and Saints look comfortable.
Well, Steve McNamara knows that they've got some problems. And attacking Saints' line, when you look at your team and you're looking for someone to step up and take control, yeah, there's no Luke Walsh, yeah, there's no Langy playing, but someone has got to take control. And when a Catalan player is looking around at the teammates, more or less saying, what's on, that's not a good sign.
So St Helens with a chance to extend that advantage for the interval. Roby, it's Lomax. Worms, he's put it down.
This will help Catalan.
Coming up.
Be a scrum, be head and feet Catalan. The first mistake from big Alex Wormsley. So they're turning the ball over in their own half. Again, this will really help Catalan. But I just want to see someone like Greg Bird. He's a tremendous player, Greg Bird. Lucas Albert, even at 19 years of age, he made his debut back in 2015 against Widnes. So he is another good player. He's been in good systems over his time at Catalan. It's time for that youngster to shine.
Jody Broughton now for Catalan Dragons. Da Costa. That was Bird. And Willie Arme slipped the net. Braden Willie Arme looking to go over.
Good strong line from Willie Arme.
Good defence in Helens. How long can they hold it? Great ball out. And Rick.
That is tremendous defence. Tremendous defence, Ben.
Margolay did almost in there. What a defence from St Helens. Not done yet. Busquets, can he get the ball away? Referee says held. Greg Bird again. Flings the ball to Maria. Anthony Maria. Julien. Dab. Hopefully, really, and not a good end to the set again, really.
Well, what you could say about that set six was that was absolutely excellent defence. It was top draw. To break Saints down, you're going to have to work really hard. You're going to have to make sure that you know what your teammates are doing, what's the strengths, what's the weaknesses of the man. If you're a halfback, you've got to take control. If you're a forward, you've got to run some really good leads. As James Roby goes again from dummy half, he's got to go back to play the ball, or the referee has shouted held.
Just one try conceded last week by St Helens. Paul McShane scoring that for Castleford. Looking to shut out the team for another 40 minutes here.
We have complaints over Catalan and some of the lack of organisation. This is a heroic defence. Look at how many Saints players deny Margolay, but the decision making of Danny Richardson, passing and kicking, has been top class. Just gives his side a little bit of a rest. Everybody can walk to the scrum. There's plenty of communication goes on at the scrum. Players like Big Al, Morgan Knowles can just breathe a little bit deeper, receive some information, and everything goes back to default.
Heads in, six.
Julien from the scrum for the Catalan Dragons. Da Costa. Now Thornley. Quick play the ball, and Da Costa with some space to work. Gets a good offload away as well. This is good from the Dragons. Garcia now. He offloads. Tierney. Volume rises around the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Margalet.
He carries the ball strong, Margalet.
Busquets. Da Costa. Margalet again. Again, lacking in organisation. This is the last one. Do they have in the locker this time? Greg Bird puts a good kick in, challenges Barber.
They're looking to turn him round then. Greg Bird over on Saints' left-hand side. And again, as Catalan get off the line, looking to force an error. Maria on Percival, and again working very hard.
That's a pressure-relieving run from Adam Swift. Quick rucks, players flooding through, early passes, and there's your just rewards.
Urgency from Walmsley, and an injury for Bird.
Greg Bird, one of those players with a lot of experience that can, if needed, make those crucial decisions. Looks like he just caught something. Is it a stinger or some kind of neck injury?
As he's going down to tackle big Alex Walmsley. There's some weight to control there and handle big Alex Walmsley. Look at this, he goes low.
That's the danger in it. You do go low and you cop for one of those.
It looks like he's hit him in the hip.
Yeah. It's a big gangly, rangy player is Alex Walmsley. Plenty of meat on his bones, but down low, if you do go down low on that type of play, you're very likely to cop a knee in the shoulder, as Greg Bird did there.
Nice play from Saints, John Wilkin, who's found himself in the halves over the years for Saints, the former captain. Nice little tip onto the big fella.
Birthday boy as well, Greg Bird, 34 today. Happy returns to him. Not much to celebrate so far, though, as far as this game is concerned. And inside the last 60 seconds of this first period, 2 tries to nil for St Helens, 12 on the board.
Good defence over there on the right-hand side. Lucas Albert and Geordie Broughton on Johnny Lomax.
McCarthy Scarsbrook. Roby, Wilkin, Richardson, Barber. Hands the ball on to Makinson. Da Costa with the tackle, 4 gone for St Helens. Roby, what a time to strike this would be. Forward pass to McCarthy Scarsbrook, they might not get the chance now.
I've been complimenting Danny Richardson on his decision-making. There's a decision that went the wrong way. He keeps hold of that because the runner's in front of him, or he passes it to the player outside.
There is the last action of this first half. 2 tries to nil St Helens, and the Saints lead by 12 points to nil.
Thanks, Ben. So Saints are ahead thanks to 2 tries. The first early on from Johnny Lomax within the first 5 minutes, and then Regan Grace about 20 minutes later in the corner. Can the Dragons pull it back? Time for a break now, but join us in a few minutes for a recap of the first half action.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
Magic is real, it's contained within an app. Put your feet up and watch Peking Duck appear with just a tap.
Download the Just Eat app or order online now.
Hospitality Finder provide VIP experiences for some of the sport's greatest fixtures. You and your guests will be immersed in the atmosphere of some of the UK's most electric horse racing events. Entertained in the opulent surroundings of Test match and one-day cricket. Or put yourself right at the heart of the rugby action in Hospitality Finder's exclusive star-studded suites. That's where you'll find me. Go to hospitalityfinder.co.uk. More than just the event.
Mum, now's the time that you have to decide which one of us do you like best?
To find the truth, you wouldn't listen to just one voice. You wouldn't believe just one story. You wouldn't trust just one opinion. And neither would we. The Week reviews all the issues of our day and where everyone stands on them. Sign up online and try it for free for 6 weeks. Because you shouldn't make up your mind on just one issue.
Sarah, should we get the bathroom done before we put it on the market?
No, it doesn't stack up. You give the tiles a good scrub and it'll look fabulous.
Do you think we'll get an offer soon?
I'm sure it won't be long. Most people who sell with us get a sale agreed within a couple of months. Sell your home with Tepelo and you'll get expert advice and support at every stage.
They've offered 375.
385, not a penny less. Join the thousands of people selling and saving with the experts, Tepelo.
FBI!
Everyone step away from your computer. Stop using the phones.
What's the FBI doing here?
Where are you? It's empty.
We got a missing nuke.
We're all just trying not to panic. Try a little harder, Dr. Bella.
We don't just have egg on our face. We have blood on our hands.
The bomb just got armed.
He's in danger. I'm going in now.
King, quick!
Everyone involved with this place has bargained with death.
What the hell is happening? Checkmate. Oh my God.
You've got to grind the team down.
Well, this first half has been all St Helens. It was a glorious beginning to the game. Early passes, speed, pace, precision. After just 1 minute, Saints went in for their first try of the first half. John Wilkins setting up. Johnny Lomax with a delightful pass to Ben Barbara and stays in support. And as I say, with just a minute on the clock, Saints, it looked ominous for Catalan Dragons. They tried, and whenever they got down, they tried and failed. Unfortunately for the Dragons, that try was chalked off.
Well, they responded, but then all of a sudden on 22 minutes, the ball goes out wide to an exciting Regan Grace, who goes in for what looked like a simple try. But it's the work from the likes of Barber and Percival inside him. A lot of options for Jody Broughton to deal with, but he loses track of his winger, and he goes in for that try. But what about this? For tremendous defence. Players coming from all over the place to stop and prevent Catalan from getting over the try line. But this effort, this passage was incredible. Margolayan, not a chance. Great defence, Lomax and Roby.
So that defence is impressing you then, Terry?
They've been outstanding. The way that they've played, to concede just one try in a game and a half, it just shows that the attitude that Saints have got, not only their attitude in defence, but what they're doing, their execution in attack as well.
How good the Catalan Dragons going to pull this back, Barry?
Well,
Ready?
Filling, moving, creating memories. That's food. And with Benecol, your food can do even more. The plant stannules in Benecol help your cholesterol fall by 7 to 10%. Plant stannules in Benecol, a smart way to lower your cholesterol. Just one little bottle of our new yogurt drinks every day will help your food do more. Now also available with no added sugar.
Book your ABTA and ATOL protected holiday now and get £100 off per person. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust.
Strength, size, power. These are the things a man needs to play rugby. And you have none of these, Williams, they said. But they were wrong. It was the size of his heart, the power of his ambition, the strength of his character.
Watch very carefully.
Some people still believe magic is real.
I want to see for myself.
Do you want to bring it here? Yeah?
I just don't see the point in conflict.
Pretend I didn't hear that.
I am Rome, and where I war is Rome.
Now it's a war.
My theory is that you're a bad man pretending to be an idiot, whereas she thinks you're merely an idiot.
From March 2nd, meet Frankenstein and have a blast. Monster Family in cinemas and on Sky Cinema from March 2nd.
I didn't plan for this to happen. Kim and Christina 1 week, Denise and Chris the next. Just sort of happened.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that. Time, and I think that probably the sad thing for Catalan was that he missed 52 tackles in that game. If you are playing the Catalan side, you know that you've got to have some movement with the ball because they're a big physical side. They're always going to be there or thereabouts, but it's just certain areas where they let themselves down. And like I said in commentary, I think the attitude to start the game and concede a try in the opening minute I think that's just not good enough. They need a big start to the second half, Angela, to get back into this game.
Well, let's see what happens. Time to go back to our commentary team, Terry, Barry and Ben Pro.
Thank you, Angela. Yes, talking about half-time last week, well, St Helens had put 22 points on last year's runaway league leaders, Castleford. So from that point of view, against the red-hot side last week, then maybe there's some positives for Steve McNamara to say, well, OK, we've only conceded 2 tries in that first period.
I'm not sure that's a positive aspect to this game, because St Helens look rampant, Catalan look miles behind. I'm not sure that those Catalan Dragons will want to do anything other than wipe the memory of that first half away and get on with the nuts and bolts of this second half.
Bousquet first up for the Dragons. Teo with the tackle. Da Costa, now Thornley to the shoulder of Wilkin.
Problem with Julian Bousquet. He limped away from that tackle. They won't want to see the big fella leave the field.
Margalet, shoulder to shoulder. Walmsley in there, Roby in there. Short ball from Bird. Garcia. Inside that St Helens half of the field, and David Mead. 3-4 around him. Albert hoists it high again. Regan Grace safe under that, protected by Percival.
Good set of 6 to start the second half with from Catalan. They'll always put their hands up. You'll always have those willing workers. There's just little things. Let's see what they can do in this set of 6. Remember the first set of 6 in the game? I'm sure they would have been talking about that in the changing rooms at half-time, led by Steve McNamara, the coach.
Bousquet puts the shoulder in. Peru will play it for Roby, and now McCarthy Scarsbrook. Last one for Saints. Lomax with the kick. He was under pressure there.
They did well to rescue that. There was a little bit of confusion on the last tackle, but they had enough about them. If last weekend was spectacular against Castleford, I think this has been a solid performance. They're going through the actions they need to, but they look very competent, very comfortable. We haven't seen too much from Ben Barber yet, and I'm sure we will before the end of the game.
High tackle, says Bill Bentham.
The touch over there on Catalan's left. He was the one who gave the call to the referee, Phil Bentham.
Keep going!
A little skip out. He tracks the number 18, Danny Richardson, who just swings his arm out and makes contact with Greg Bird around the neck.
Sorry, Taz, just look at the communication from Ben Barber. He's only had probably 3 or 4 involvements, but they've resulted in breaks and tries. But look at him working defensively now, making sure that middle's nice and tight and the communication is strong near their own try line.
Anthony Maria with that first carry substitute last Sunday at Widnes, his first Dragons appearance in 2 years. Bousquet, Da Costa. That was Garcia, and Garcia with a great contribution there to find Williame.
Another good effort from Barber at the back though.
Not done yet though, the Dragons, and the ball hits the post. Who will it get there? Barber again tidies up.
Outstanding work from the fullback. You need such a big engine when you're a fullback. You've got to constantly chase the ball. There he is on hand to make that tackle. He can't afford to pat himself on the back. The next play, the ball gets put into the in-goal area, and he's needed then as well.
And again, there's good talk between the likes of Ben Barber and James Roby, who were involved in that tackle. James Roby recognises that Ben Barber can't be involved anywhere around the ruck. He's got to get back into his position and defend that play, which he did.
Julien collects the restart on the foot.
Good strength from John Wilkin in the tackle, trying to turn over Julien.
His first try of last year came in a home defeat of St Helens. Benjamin Julien. Margalet, Da Costa. Now Greg Bird to that left-hand side in the shape of Willie Army, shut down by Swift.
And Swift recognised that his centre had gone in, so he had to go in to close that play down as well.
Morgan Knowles alongside him, flick from Maria. Filtered back, Julien. Immediately though, Wilkins in his face. Personal, I beg your pardon. Now Bird. Wilkins this time with the tackle, alongside McCarthy Scarsbrook. This is the last one for Catalan Dragons, and Da Costa plays it for Lucas Albert, the kick.
Accidental offside here. I think it initially hits James Roby, and then it ricochets forward into his teammate. Albert did well to catch that ball, and you can see that it hits James Roby first, then Johnny Lomax is stood in front of him, so accidental offside, scrum, head and feet to Catalan. Well, they look like they've got a different attitude in the opening 5 minutes in the second half.
I want to see what their attitude is to this field position. Are they willing to camp out here, or do they want to try?
Broughton first up for the Dragons. Just about holds on. I think it's Margolay under there. Da Costa, left. Greg Bird, good ball. That was David Mead. This is Willie Army. And Willie Army can't get through the tackle of Makinson.
Well, he's a hand from bread on Willie Army, isn't he?
Mead. Garcia with a good offload, and David Mead with some space. Wilkin can't get to him. Ball coming in the shape of Margolay again. Desperate defence from St Helens, and that's a really good carry. So close there, the Dragons.
It was a brave line, that was.
David Mead it was. And the kick collected really well by Regan Grace.
It's good stuff from the Dragons. They've tested that line. They've forced a goal line dropout. Really intelligent kick from Lucas Albert. Having to work overtime, St Helens. Second goal line dropout in the second half, is it?
Absolutely, and indicative of that Catalan pressure since the break.
It's incredible, isn't it, what a half-time talking to from the coach can do to you. Problem here with Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Physio and doctor on, see how he is. The Saints know now that the attitude from Catalan has certainly improved in this second half.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook there, his only hat-trick came on French soil in a cup win at Pier back in 2006. Here is Bousquet then, from that restart, from the drop. Julien holds on.
Again, a second effort from Zebteya, trying to turn the Catalan player onto the back. Have a look every time that they go into contact. Louis McCarthy now wrestling, trying to make that play the ball slower.
Bousquet eventually does play the ball, and Da Costa quickly, urgently on the back of that. Here is Greg Bird now. Wilkin over the top.
John Wilkin just too close to Greg Bird then. Needed to give himself some distance. Holding on to the ball. Penalty again, Ben. More pressure here.
Want to turn it into points, the Catalan Dragons.
And this will tell us how good Catalan are with the ball, with all the pressure, along with how good Saints are defensively.
Maria for Da Costa, bullets the pass, and now Garcia, taken high by Roby. Was he? Crowd thinks so. David Mead, some space, some acceleration, and David Mead, has he got the ball down there over the line?
Oh, I think the second effort, does he get it down? Initially, I think it hits Ben Barber's knee, and then he has another go, tries to get it down. The referee thinks so as well, Phil Bentham.
Try on the field, the battle of the fullbacks there. David Mead, Ben Barber, 160 odd appearances each in the NRL.
He's low and hard, Mead. You see the ball. Does he get it down? Does he get it down? Well, the question is the hand of the fullback underneath the back? I'm going to say that Phil Bentham, who's right in front of it, has the best view of it. He's gone for a try and I'll go with him. Can't see any reason to not give it. His slight question mark is Ben Barber's hand, but there's not enough in either of those replays.
I agree. It's a big effort. The previous set, he's come up with a real strong carry in front of the sticks. He come onto the ball like a steam train, like any forward would do. He's not the biggest, David Mead. I think he's just give his team a lifeline here. He's a good player, the former Gold Coast fullback.
Robert Hicks is the video referee, by the way, Terry.
Goes low, goes hard, look at that. He's got 4 players in front of him to deal with. And he's still got some fight, he's still showing some urgency to get it down. Ben Barber tries to get his hand underneath the ball, and I think that the tip of the ball just hits that white line. And the referee, Phil Bentham, has sent it up as a try. And I don't think the video referee, Robert Hicks, can overturn that.
Well, he's not sure, is he, Robert Hicks? And as I said, the only question mark for me is the hand of Ben Barber. I'm not sure that angle tells us anything.
I think it touches the white line there. As it's going back.
The first time I watched it, it was a try, and Phil Bentham did as well.
No, it's on the white line.
I'm agreeing with you. What are you nodding at me for?
David Mead, he grabbed his side's opener at Widnes last week. Looking to do exactly the same in terms of opening their account here in Perpignan.
Saints still struggling, still trying to handle him.
Here is the decision. It's been a long time coming.
That's a try, Ben.
Catalan Dragons then with the opportunity to halve the deficit. And David Mead, 2-2 for him. More importantly, Catalan Dragons right back into this game.
Well, that's the reward for sustained pressure. A couple of goal line dropouts, some time in their opposition's half, and indeed near their goal line, close to the 20. David Mead, who I think is going to be a revelation for the Catalan Dragons. Once he beds in, we've mentioned a few times about the World Cup, the legacy of the World Cup, how certain teams and certain players it will affect one way and it'll affect other teams another way. Catalan Dragons had 16 players involved in the World Cup. David Mead was one with Papua New Guinea, Braden Williami with Fiji. They're available today and contributing for the Dragons.
Lucas Albert slots over 2 more points, and they have halved the deficit, 12-6 now, the Saints' advantage.
Well, he's got plenty of heart, hasn't he? David Mead, he's a good player, strong carry from Garcia, but look how low, look at how direct he is. Doesn't go sideways. He's confronted by 4 Saints defenders. Some of the biggest players in the team. Well, now they're back into the game now. Well, there's the wind we talked about early on, just holding up. Catalan looking to get that ball back.
And they've done exactly that. Catalan Dragons and Thornley now in possession. Da Costa, Margalet. Now Maria, good offload, finds the try scorer, David Mead.
Well, everyone around where the ball carrier is, you know in your team who's good at offloading the ball. Maria obviously is good in that department, and David Mead knew that he had to follow the big forward, get on the back of one of those.
Still the last, says referee Bentham, and so it's Bousquet who hoists the high kick. Barber, so composed.
And again, I think Catalan lose something there. Lucas Albert, the number 22, he's looking at the referee, trying to get a penalty out of the referee, saying that he was impeded by the man who was behind the play of the ball in the Saints jersey. You've just got to get on with the game. You've got to play the ball as quick as you can. Try and get Saints on the back foot and see what happens.
Justin Holbrook's man on the front foot, just at the moment, in the shape of Walmsley.
Thought he dropped that then, Walmsley.
Now Lomax, some space on the left-hand side, and Percival. This is where they were so damaging last week. St Helens against the Tigers. Barber, crossfield, high. Great take from Tierney.
Nice brave play under pressure from James Roby. Maybe should give Catalan some credit as well, just 6 points behind on the scoreboard. They've responded well the opening 20 minutes, and a couple of patches where they looked okay, but this Saints side put 46 points past Cass last week. Struggling for the points on the scoreboard down in the south of France, but still half an hour to go.
And Ben, I understood the point you were making just before we kicked off for the second. Oh, that
dangerous tackle, yeah.
He's got that all wrong. Morgan Knowles, who is not that type of player, isn't a dirty player, he's solid as a rock. Gets that all wrong. Margaret is down, has stayed down. Morgan Knowles hits around the ball, ends up the player with 1 foot on the ground. Probably looks... It looks bad. Well, this could affect the game massively for one side or the other. When referees see actions like that, they start reaching for the back pocket. I wouldn't like to see any player leave the field.
I think he could be in trouble there.
Yeah. He's taking all the information in, Phil Bentham.
And I agree with you, he is a physical player, Morgan Knowles, and sometimes that when you, like you've seen him when he hit him, he lifts his leg up, then all of a sudden, the body weight takes over, he's trying to get him to ground, and I think he could be gone here.
Yeah, there you go.
Morgan Knowles dismissed in Perpignan, a red card.
He knows it as well, Morgan Knowles.
Well, just as Catalan have opened the door now, Saints have got one man down here, but again he hits him hard. He's trying to take him to ground. As he lifts his leg up, then all of a sudden the force, the weight of the tackle, and trying to control Margaret, the weight's just too much. He upends him, and I haven't really a problem with that, with Morgan Knowles getting sent off for that tackle.
I said it would affect the game, didn't I? I said it would affect the game. And that tackle has really breathed some life into this game. What's it do to both sides?
Only just inside the half hour, so 30 minutes for St Helens to play with 12. Head by 6. Maria plays the ball. It's Bousquet. Ball from Bird and Villiame. Garcia now. Walmsley in there, McCarthy, Scarsbrook in there.
Doesn't necessarily follow that if you're a player down your side, he's destined to leave. It just means you've got to apply yourself, you've got to have a laser focus on all your jobs and all your responsibility. And you see Danny Richardson calm down, his body language, he just motions to his players, let's calm down now.
Nice work from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, recognised that it was a one-on-one with Julian Bousquet, strips that ball away. And there's a danger as well when you play against 13 men, is that you think, right, there's going to be some space somewhere, let's shift the ball from one side to the other, whereas defences just keep working from inside. So it's a big test for Saints. We've credited them how good they are in defence. They've got a further 27 minutes to go here as Johnny Lomax stays down.
His head ends up in an awkward place after the tackle of Benjamin Julian, a player that really impresses me every time I watch him. There's some of the work done in attack. And that smart piece of play from McCarthy Scarsbrook. Johnny Lomax is down. Benjamin Julian, who's a good buy for the Dragons. Solid player that could be part and parcel of this team for the next 10 years. In the meantime, concerns and worries about Johnny Lomax. This happens a lot, and I talk about it often when a player reverses into the tackle. he reverses, he's facing his own try line, his own goal line, and Benjamin Julian, who's trying to affect the tackle. You see, at this point he catches him, he's trying to pull him to the floor. I don't think there's any malice in that one, but it ends up awkward, almost because of the body position of Johnny Lomax, who looks, thank God, to be okay.
It's a yellow card for Benjamin Julien.
It's a difficult one, that. It really is.
It is. And you put yourself in the position of a defender when someone backs into you. It's very hard to position yourself and get around that. But again, I've seen those tackles. People have been suspended, or players have been suspended last year. And you've seen them sent to the sin bin. So again, the referee's just doing what the protocol says, and that's 10 minutes in the sin bin.
So 12 against 12 for the moment. Morgan Knowles sent off. Benjamin Julien with the yellow card. McCarthy scars back. A wrestle free. Richardson. It's the ball away. Thompson. 98 St Helens appearance this evening.
It's getting to the time now where I think Steve McNamara is going to be thinking, do we bring Michael McLaurin back onto the field? As there's a mistake here from Theo Fage.
Only just on Theo Fage, he's put the ball down, and David Mead leading the counter for the Catalan Dragons. Good urgency again from the hooker, Da Costa.
He won't want to be making a mistake, Theo Fage, against some of his fellow countrymen. Playing back in the south of France where it all begun for him.
His 50th since appearance today on French soil, appropriately enough, for Theo Fage. High shot on Casti.
And a skipper will probably run like that 9 times out of 10 with his chin up. He runs hard, he ducks down. He has got good late footwork. James Roby will give 1 penalty away every 4.5 years for a high tackle, and there it is. And I bet it's on Remy Casti the next time.
Two skippers in opposition, and now Thornley for the Catalan Dragons. Near converted try adrift, remember. Garcia flicks the ball out.
Good pressure, mistake. Zeb Taylor coming in, closing that player down. There was an offload. Catalan sensing something. Decent field position.
Stand, hold.
Lomax for Barber, and now Regan Grace.
If you didn't know the score and you were looking at this game, you'd be thinking that Catalan were the team that was going to be in front.
It's a different game in the second half.
Yeah.
I was going to say before the red card, Ben, I understand the question you were asking just before we started the second half, but I don't think they would have taken consolation. Their game was poor, Catalan. It wasn't about how many tries and how many points that Saints had scored against them. It was how almost self-inflicting that injury and that. That's a lovely offload, that.
What a pass from Barber. 0 tackle, says referee Phil Bentham.
Yeah, Ian Thornley made a play for that. Again, with you, Barry, that was a lovely ball from Barber. Johnny Lomax looking to get the ball out. It's played for by Thornley. Douglas just couldn't bring it back in. So they go to head and feed it to the Saints.
And I'll finish my point. It's over about four different sections this point that they were.
I hope it's a good one.
Probably not, no. They were self-inflicting the damage, the Dragons, in that first half, much like the week before. Penalties, drop balls, lack of discipline. They're a much different side in the second half. I'll finish there, that's it. Just join those 4 bits up.
Steve McNamara alluding to that lack of discipline last week.
Wait. No,
well, 14 penalties last week.
Wait.
Along with those missed tackles, which wouldn't have helped. They're a lot stronger, a lot sterner.
Approaching the hour mark in Perpignan. Thompson for St Helens. By penalty area in there with the tackle. Roby shows it to one, gives it to Richardson. Danger man is Barber. Again faced by Mead.
Well, he recognised he was running out of space, so he was the man who took the tackle. No point giving it to Grace or Percival, who get bundled into touch.
So out from St Helens finds Makinson on that right-hand side, who's got Swift for company, and Swift still going. Swift out of one tackle, and Swift over for St Helens. Well, they were asked the question by the Catalan Dragons, and Adam Swift opens his account for 2018 to provide the answer.
Well, the ball goes from the left to the right. As I said, Ben Barber did everything right. He didn't need to pass the ball. Nice little play from Tommy Makinson, but what about the footwork from Adam Swift? Such a powerful winger, good finish, steps off his right, confronted with Tierney, confronted with Bird, keeps his feet, scores a try. Excellent play.
The hallmark of this St Helens side, Justin Holbrook seems very satisfied with giving a player an early ball, willing to let that player have a one-on-one opportunity. We saw Adam Swift, it was one-on-one at first, but he did remarkably well to finish that try. But every pass before that was to a player in space who had one defender in front of him. And Saints are very good at exploiting the space, very good at creating the space. Those one-on-one opportunities seem to be being taken.
No place for the 24-year-old in the opener against Castleford last week. But a hat-trick instead against the North Wales Crusaders. And now a really important try in Perpignan. Injury to Ryan Morgan, of course, gave him the opportunity. Now Richardson trying to restore this 12-point cushion for St Helens. It's a great kick again. 18 points to 6 now. Justin Holbrook's men ahead.
I'm really pleased for Adam Swift. I have to applaud his professionalism. Lost his place. He's been in and out of the side. He's maintained and kept his squad number, but it doesn't mean too much in the modern game. But he's kept his cool, kept his composure, stayed loyal to the cause. And that's a glorious try. He'll have enjoyed that, and he'll want to keep his place in the team.
Twice hit Catalan for 4 tries in his career, Adam Swift. So lost 33-26 here 3 years ago, despite scoring 4.
It's a good first carry from Luke Douglas. Look how easy that run is now for Thompson. Because he gets through the line, lands on his front. And Remy Casti did well to then just control Luke Thompson again. They look to shift this ball out to Percival.
Brilliant pass to find the England centre. Taya. It's Regan Grace. Roby, Richardson. Skipper takes control again. Lomax run around with Barber, and Barber with a brilliant offload there to Percival. That went surely forward.
What about that ball though from Ben Barber to Percival? Knew exactly what he was going through. Look at this. Waits for Jody Broughton to jump the line, gives him the ball, backs up looking for the return pass, but Mark Percival
cheeky,
couldn't slip that ball. But wasn't it good though? You turn around, you see the player smiling, enjoying his time.
But if I'm defending against it, I'm thinking next time I get hold of you, I'm going to give you a clout, because that's just cheeky. A disregard for the defenders in front of him. It's like something that you'd pull off playing touch and pass. But good to watch from Ben Barber.
Well, they cut Castleford to pieces last week, those two. In the mood again in Perpignan. Inside the last quarter. Michael Simon on for the Dragons. Here is skipper Casti. To his opposite number there, Roby.
He'll never give up the fight, Remy Casti. Look at that. There's a lot of fight in those legs. Remy Casti knows exactly how to play the game. Leads by example, behind on the scoreboard. He's got to come up with one of those big plays, the captain's knock. Always done it since he made his debut. Good strong carry from Simon, picking out James Roby.
And off the back of his hard work and Simon's hard work, they'll get that field position. You feel that Catalan Dragons need good field position. They're not going to score a length of the field try, and St Helens are dangerous when they're near their line.
Da Costa's ball. Greg Bird. Now Garcia. Put the step on Richardson. Goes through Douglas initially, and then 21-year-old Richardson comes back.
The penalty, there was hands in then. Again, there's some fight to play the ball. First of all, it was Remy Casti, then it was Garcia. Back-to-back penalties here.
Michael Simon. Da Costa. Casti. Defence Thompson. And Da Costa. He's managed to poach one, has he? Just a metre away, and Da Costa has managed to sneak over here. Looked like they've repelled the danger initially, St Helens. And then Ulrich Da Costa made his Dragons debut in a win at St Helens 2 years ago. Strikes against them in Perpignan.
How lucky is Da Costa? He's going to get to spend time with Michael McAlorum and Paul Ayton and learn all the tricks of the trade. An instinctive 1 metre from the line try. Gets the Dragons back in the game.
Well, that's the threat, and you could see Ben Barber, couldn't you? Threw his head back on the floor, knew that they conceded a real soft try. Coaches will be happy if you go around them, maybe score on the edges, but not so close to the line, not by the hooker diving over, when you should have the defenders there to first of all deal with it. You've got to be low enough as well, and they just weren't there, and that sounds a bit of a sucker punch there for Saints.
I wonder whether Steve McNamara now will get a message to his players and say, we need to focus on 3 things: field position, field position, field position.
2 more points for the Dragons.
Yeah, look at him, he's looking up, seeing what's there. Da Costa lays it off to Remy Casti again, who comes up with a strong carry. He reaches out, then he pulls it back, and then he can spot the space there, shows the ball. Luke Thompson goes for it. Ben Barber's just sat in a little pocket, but it just opens that gap up to let him go in and score the try.
And there's another smart piece of recognition. We saw it last night when Wakefield, it was Scott Griggs, the fullback, had to be somewhere else. Da Costa knew that the fullback was already thinking, I've got to try and follow the ball. That ball is always the threat.
Release. Hold.
Solid defence from Douglas and Broughton. And now
Julien back onto the field now. He was off in the sin bin. The referee saying that he didn't create enough space between him and Johnny Lomax when he was going down to the ground. That's why he was sent off.
Back up, 4.
Back on the inside for David Mead.
Again, he's everywhere, David Mead, isn't he? Full of action, the fullback from Catalan.
Good defence from Makinson. Here is the kick. Testing Regan Grace. He's put it down and spilled it forward, has he?
Yeah, this is head and feed this to Catalan. Lucas Albert, he gets the ball away, he kicks it, nobody putting pressure on him.
Ooh, look at the body language change from the Dragons players now. It's high fives and congratulations all round.
It's amazing leading that positivity.
It's amazing what a try can do, Ben. And then he's full of action, Remy Casti. You look at Bateri there in the middle, the number 17, Michael Simon, another player. They're a big, strong side.
Heads in.
Quarter of an hour left in Perpignan, and Catalan Dragons looking to tie this one up. 18 points apiece. Great field position. On the inside for me, but they've surrendered the ball already.
They put that play on before they caught the ball. Whatever was going to happen, wherever the space was going to be, that's the man who was going to get it. There's Tommy Makinson. Again, he's a strong player, made more tackle busts than any other player in the Saints jersey last year. So big, elusive, so strong, like Barry said in the first half, when he bounces across the line. Maybe looking for a one-on-one if the gap's not there, gets down like a spring, springs back up, earns his side a penalty.
And he might not make the break, he might not score the try when he's doing stuff like that, but it just creates chaos, that uncertainty in the defensive line, and it can disrupt a whole set of six off the back of it.
Walmsley. Margolay with the tackle. Over halfway, St Helens. Roby. Great run from the skipper. Wants a quick play, the ball gets one as well. Barber on the back of that. Here's Walmsley. St Helens looking to close this game out. They want 2 from 2. They want 100% start. They want top of the league.
Well, good signs now. The defenders are chasing hard from inside, putting pressure on the ball carrier. And nice contact from Da Costa on Zeb Taylor.
Former Dragon plays the ball. Lomax. Inviting kick, just too strong.
Good width from dummy half. Talked in the first half about Johnny Lomax and how he frightens, he scares defenders. He stood wide then. It was a kick that was dealt with by Catalan Dragons, who at 2 tries to 1, the second half, are in a good position to win this game. They're behind on the scoreboard, but they're in the arm wrestle.
Nice control from Thomas Makinson on Braden Williami. Catalan looking to offload the ball at every opportunity. Really have up the tempo, trying to dictate the speed of this game. Brings the ball back in, Lucas Albert. As Johnny Lomax just trying to slow it down again. Only bouncing across. Braden Williami, strong run.
Da Costa. Now Margolay. Last one coming up shortly for the Dragons. 25 metres or so away, and it's Lucas Albert who hoists it high.
He's got to get himself underneath that Regan Grace. He looked at it. Lucas Albert got the kick away. He set the try up earlier from a decent field position from a kick. He puts that ball again, attacking the same man who's got the ball, Regan Grace, who just let the ball bounce. That could have took a wicked bounce back into the arms of a Catalan player.
I think he was showing respect from the kick chase as well. It came off for Saints. Luckily, it went dead. They get the ball from the top 20. But the chase was good. The kick was high. And they're under pressure, Saints.
I think there could be a problem with Michael McLaurin. He's still not onto the field. He went into this game with a problem in his heel. And obviously with 11 minutes to go, the cost has been on all this second half. It looks like he might not be able to get back onto the field. Alex Walmsley trying to get up, lay that platform to his captain.
Here is Percival, flicks the ball out for Makinson. Makinson with some space for Theo Farge, and now Taya. Oh, did well to get the ball away. It's gone backwards, says the referee Phil Bentham. Here is Barber. Wolves looking to offload.
That's the fullback in it. Dummy half.
Here's the last one. Lomax with that kick. It's bounced, and it's just too strong.
David Mead ends up entangled with big Alex Walmsley. He did really well to get back. And a good pace to the second half this game. Jody Broughton didn't want to catch that ball either. Again, recognition of the wind, a swirling wind. A little bit of off the cuff.
Then there's a penalty here, is it obstruction? When the ball was kicked. Well, Danny Richardson just taking his time, going to go for 2 points. Catalan will need to score twice if he knocks this one over.
Let's have a look again.
There it is.
Yeah, there's the block. Zeb Taylor, who just goes down in background. He's obstructed.
By Ian Thornley,
by
Ian
Thornley, yeah.
Richardson then. to attempt to put Saints 2 scores clear. Hits the post. Still just 6 points the difference.
That's a win-win, that. They're still going to get the ball back. He's kicked well out of hand and off the kicking tee. And a good all-round game, Richardson.
Lucas Albert with the dropout. And Barber picks up 40 metres from his own line and Wormsley charges in again. Gets the offload away for Barber. Bousquet immediately round the legs. Simon upstairs.
You can tell how anxious St Helens are. It's 12-18 on the scoreboard. They're probably second best in this second half. It's the quality that's keeping them in the game. The endeavour of the Catalan Dragons has got them back. Some good signs in the second half for McNamara's team. Will they end up with the 2 competition points? We'll wait and see.
Roby for Thompson. This is Richardson. Now Wormsley again, third involvement in this sequence.
5.
Last one coming up for St Helens.
Hold.
12 or so metres away. Drop goal perhaps from Richardson. They were looking for 2 scores, and I think they've just got them.
Well, as soon as he struck that then, he knew that it hit it perfectly. Just have a little look. Drops it on the floor, kicks it between the sticks, turns around straight away.
He's been
perfect touch on it.
There's been some quality performances. I think his decision-making, I think the way he's controlled this game, they complement each other well, Richardson, Lomax, and then when Farge comes onto the field, a lot of options. I think we mentioned it last week, they've got a lot of options in the pivot department.
Swift for St Helens, closing in on 2 from 2 to start Super League 23.
There's a lot of hard work here for Saints. Let's not forget Morgan Knowles was sent from the field of play, so they've had to do it really tough with 12 men. Again, he earns the side a penalty, Tommy Makinson. That's the second time in this second half. He carries the ball, he comes from the right-hand side, he drifts across the field. He's looking for the defender to jump the line. He's looking for someone to just leave a gap so he can just bounce through it. Good distance on that kick again from Danny Richardson. Tipped him early on in the year to be Super League's Young Player of the Year, or one of the contenders. His partner in Johnny Lomax in the halves, who won the award in 2011.
Strong carry again. Roby. Richardson flings the ball to Barber. Should have brought him once, and he's still going, Ben Barber. This is brilliant again.
So elusive, isn't he, Ben Barber?
Has he dropped the ball? So nonchalant, lovely footwork. He's still looking for that one-handed offload. His grip isn't good enough. They're just entering into the last 5 minutes of this game. He'd be disappointed with that involvement. But he's had an all-round good game.
Looking to promote that ball. He did it 10 minutes earlier where he set Percival free with a wicked offload. James Roddy leading the charge with 1 minute's work, saying to all his teammates, what realistically it takes for a set of 6 to be knocked over. You've got to work hard, you've got a few more plays to go in this set.
Catalan Dragons running out of chances. Here is Tierney.
The dangerous side when they're running out of chances, because they start having to throw the ball around, offloading the ball, playing before the line. That's a good shot from Johnny Lomax on Albert.
David Mead. That was Julien. Now Thornley. How he would look to score against the Saints. Mead. Now Albert. Crossfield, high. Swift underneath it. 20-metre restart. Urgency from St Helens. Catalan Dragons starved of the ball. Roby. This is Regan Grace. Casti, Simon waiting for him. Roby again for Lomax. Turns it inside this time. Peru.
Just dropping the ball off, looking to pull in those defenders tight to the ruck. Again, carry, strong carry from Luke Thompson as James Roby goes from dummy half.
Richardson for McCarthy Scarsbrook. McCarthy Scarsbrook's in a hole. Where's the support?
Oh, they weren't honest enough on the blind side. They hadn't moved across.
Important tackle from Tierney. How long can they repel them? This could be the game here.
Good tackle from Jody Broughton. He's hit Zeb Taylor. Stop that play. Well, he hits him in everything, doesn't he? Snuffs out that play.
If St Helens manage to score now in the dying embers of this game, I think the period where Catalan Dragons will play well will count for nothing. They won't get the competition play points, I feel certain of that, but they've had a good phase and a good period of this game and something for Steve McNamara's side to work on, but they need to carry it through to the 80th minute.
Casti. Simon's pass at the line. DaCosta, Greg Bird. Thompson. The ball comes free initially.
Is that back to one? Yeah, back to one. He had it, Thompson. Right decision to strip it, but he couldn't regather the ball.
Catalan Dragons then continue. Tierney it is who loses his footing. David Mead. Now Garcia. Catalan try here would make things really interesting. And David Mead does his best to supply that for Jody Broughton. That's great.
Oh, that's a great tackle.
Mark Percival.
Ball and all tackle from Percival.
Could be it again though, and Lucas Albert. Casti, last chance. Bird, crossfield kick, Swift is there. Again, catches in goal, he's going to want a quick tap 20, is he?
Well, he's just slowing it down now, knowing where they are on the clock, just 2 minutes to go. Well, he's given his coach a decent dilemma, hasn't he? He's come in for the injured Morgan, played really well. Looked strong every time he's carried the ball. Scored a brilliant try as well.
Regan Grace.
They do have an embarrassment of riches, Saints, in terms of fast wingers, try scorers right on the edge. But Swift has earned his place. He deserves to keep it. Regan Grace has been good, and they've accommodated those three fast players by putting Tommy Makinson in the centre.
And teams at the top of the table will always have competition for places. Keeps everybody on the toes. And that's what Justin Holbrook's got.
Here is Barber. Put to ground eventually. Inside the last 60 seconds.
This kick will be a kick.
McCarthy scores, but great pass, Theo Farge. High tackle, David Mead.
Tackle, yeah.
That's a magical offload from Louis McCarthy Scars, but I thought they were setting up for the play to nudge it over the sideline and run the clock out. But lovely footwork, nice support from Farge. Yeah, and that's a clear penalty. They'll take the 2 and the 2 competition points.
Richardson in no hurry to add these 2 points.
Well, the Saints fans are enjoying their time now in the south of France. They've turned up in numbers and encouraging the side here now, knowing that it's going to be a good night around Canet Plage.
Been an exotic day for fans of Wigan and Saints. Catalan, Wollongong
and Hull.
And Hull, of course, yeah. Hull fans.
Danny Richardson, the last act of this game, 2 more points for St Helens. They make it 2 from 2, 100%. It's finished here in Perpignan. St Helens 21, Catalan 12.
An incident-filled game then, with St Helens coming out on top despite being down to 12 men for about 30 minutes. With Morgan Knowles red-carded. The Dragons also without Benjamin Julien for 10 minutes for a dangerous tackle, and there's the final score, 21-12. Barry and Terry are here to talk us through the moments that mattered.
Well, they're incredible the way that they played, and their attitude in the second half was a lot better than it was in the first half. David Mead, I thought he was strong right the way through the game. This went upstairs to the video referee. Then we had Morgan Knowles, who was sent from the field of play. And I didn't have a problem with that. He gets it all wrong on Margaret. He's a powerful man. And Phil Bentham had no option really but to send the youngster off the field. And then we had Adam Swift, who again, he's been given an opportunity, but look at the balance, look at the footwork. Still not got it all done. But man, that was a great try.
That was a finisher's instinct there from Swift. He gets a try in the corner, and then Da Costa, who toiled away all evening, gets his try, and that's the final touch. Beautiful drop goal. And what about this for defence? Mark Percival, both sides of the ball. Saints have given maximum effort. There's David Mead's high shot, and 2 points to finish off the game.
And the second game at 8:40 on Sky Sports Arena and main event. Plenty to look forward to then next weekend here on Sky Sports. Thanks for watching.
Sky Sports, feel it all. Sky Sports Arena, feel it all.
For a little second effort, there's also Chris Green in close attendance. Finn, Paul, wide they go, it's picked up brilliantly by Johnson.
Easy, that's a try.
What a great try, it's ended when finished.
Out of here. What am I looking for? I can feel it. It's magic. Sauvage, the new eau de parfum, Leo.
Hospitality Finder provide VIP experiences for some of the sport's greatest fixtures. You and your guests will be immersed in the atmosphere of some of the UK's most electric horse racing events. entertained in the opulent surroundings of Test match and one-day cricket. Or put yourself right at the heart of the rugby action in Hospitality Finder's exclusive star-studded suites. That's where you'll find me. Go to hospitalityfinder.co.uk. More than just the event.
Are you on autopilot when it comes to sensitive teeth? Using a toothpaste that just numbs the pain? Try Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Its unique technology treats the cause of sensitivity, repairing teeth for instant and long-lasting pain relief. Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Stop numbing, start repairing.
Introducing the new Jaguar E-Pace.
You can watch the latest movies straight from the cinema on your TV. Easy.
Get 50% off your first movie. Search Sky Store 50.
Get down! Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the...
We've been shot at, drowned. My knickers are wet and I'm starving.
Strike Back continues with us Wednesday at 9, only on Sky One.
Here comes the...
And if you missed the previous news episode, Strike Back's available now on Catch Up TV.
Ready or not. How you like me now, I say.
So, tell me, Eggsy, what do you do?
I work for Kingsman, the tailors, Your Highness.
I must say you are really not as I expected.
Buy or rent in Sky Store now.
Welcome to watchers of Sky Sports Arena. Joining us here at the Rico. Alongside me, Pamela Cookey. You played on these big stages that I was talking about, Pam, but this one's feisty.
Oh, it's going to be, yes. Last season when Storm came here, they beat Wasps, so they're looking for another performance like that coming out tonight. But playing in front of a sellout crowd in this atmosphere, it just gives you goosebumps, and I can taste it and feel it now, just being on the sideline.
Wasps then out on court, led by captain Hannah Reid. Now waiting Storm to come out. I talk about those players making the swap. You've done it for Storm, of course, winning that Super League 2. Has that kind of rivalry gone? Is it lost? Is it still there?
Oh, it's always still there. Whenever you step on that court, you're always there to beat that whole team. And obviously, a lot of the Storm players did come over to Wasps, so there is that. You're playing against your old team, the Duck Egg Blues, but it's all fun and games, and they're going to leave everything out on the court.
The huddle then from the Wasps players. Storm over to our left. They've had their own little huddle, just quietly taking it all in two. Let's bring you those starting sevens then. For Wasps players to look out for, the incoming Jade Clark, such a performer for England internationally. She's joined in there by her international teammates Nat Haythornthwaite and Rachel Dunn. And Amy Flanagan, good to see her, hopefully with a full season under her belt after a season last year interrupted by injury. As for Surrey Storm, well, there's Ziggy Berger, a goal shooter. Many looking to how she'll perform this season. And Jo Tripp, who came in for the fast fives, a real rock at the back. She gives them perhaps a different edge. Talking about Ziggy Berger, this will be a different attacking circle that we'll see from Storm this season.
Exactly that. You're going to get more of a rotating, moving circle. They had Megan
Geographic Museum in Washington, where the BBC caught up with him.
Art that's powerful is emotional, and so I want you to have some kind of an emotional response to what you're witnessing, to what you're seeing. I try to capture images that have a certain kind of scope, a breadth, and an intimacy at the same time. The Day to Night series is something I started about 9 years ago, and I started with this kind of crazy idea of if I could compress a single day into a photograph. I take pictures from a single point of view, usually elevated, almost always elevated, about 50 feet in the air. And I never move my camera. I just photograph specific moments throughout the day and the night. And then what I do is I get back and I edit anywhere from 1,200 to 2,200 images. And it takes me about a month to edit them all down. And then I decide where day begins and night ends. And that's what I call my time vector. This is kind of how it works. In this photograph, day begins on the far right side of the photograph, and time tracks this way. So it literally goes across. In the morning, I was very blessed. We had an amazing rainbow that happened.
This is actually happening right now.
And then as time changes, you get the afternoon light and the rotation of the light, and then, of course, sunset. Photography's always been an evolution. It's always been a part alchemy, part science, part magic, right? And luck, really, right? One of the things that's really special about this image, of course, is the elephants. This is one frame. That's one moment. I created a photograph in the Serengeti where I was able to witness for 26 hours amazing communication between all these competitive species feeding in a watering hole. Honestly, it felt almost biblical when I was there. I felt like Noah was about to drop the ark and they were going to load the animals in. And it was through that experience that really my work changed. I saw something in animal communication that I don't think I'd ever read in a book or any scientist ever described. It's really important